My excessive sweating used to embarrass me so much that for most of my life I just ignored working out completely. Even though the thought of working out, building muscles, and getting those visible six pack abs always fascinated me as a man. But because of this curse, I just never could see myself reaching these goals. Now, I'm 26 years old and I can finally say I have found a way to actually achieve these goals which I always dreamed of. Now, I work out regularly without being embarrassed by my hyperhidrosis. Even on intense leg days when I used to sweat the most, my hand stays dry, and now my confidence stays high and I actually enjoy exercising. Let me tell you what I did to get here. So, the first thing I realized after taking my pre workout, I would get that fantastic pump, that increase in blood flow. But what I wasn't expecting was my hyperhidrosis getting on steroids. I would be in the middle of warm up and already dressed. My hands would be dripping sweat that bad that I would actually see the sweat on the floor, and I would continuously wipe the floor with my shoe so that nobody notices. That's how bad it used to be. And now you can see my hand, they are dry as hell. You can see this. Even I moisturize them and they are still like this dry. So what I'm sharing actually works and that's why I'm here. And now back to the point. I have stopped entirely taking pre-workouts, energy drinks or coffee, anything that has high amount of caffeine inside. I just don't take it anymore. I love the pump that it gets while training, but sadly, it also gets your sweat glands on steroids. So after cutting down on caffeine, I followed the common online advice, which was to wear cotton clothes. Now, anytime I start exercising, I would get so sweaty that my clothes get soaked and literally the entire area would stick to my body, and don't even get me started on those sweat stains. This is why now I only wear polyester based clothing while working out because they are lightweight, breathable, and most importantly, they don't show sweat stains. That's very important. Once I changed my clothing, the next challenge I faced was I'd be in the middle of an exercise and my armpits would literally become an open faucet. It would get so embarrassing and frustrating when you are exercising and your armpits keep on dripping sweat. And I still remember it would get that bad that my armpits keep on dripping sweat and it would slide through my armpit onto my stomach. So I started using antiperspirant before hitting the gym. Now the thing is the roll-ons are complete waste of time and what you need is a solid form antiperspirant, and when you apply make sure the area is trimmed and clean, and once you apply let it fully dry before you dress for the maximum sweat block. But there was still one problem. No matter which bench, machine, or mat I used, it would end up completely soaked in my sweat, and it was truly awful. I remember so clearly I would be working out on a piece of equipment, and someone else, maybe a girl, would walk past by. She waits to use the same spot, and when I stand up, I would see my sweat marks everywhere. It definitely looked so messy and unhygienic. I literally saw people skipping the machine entirely, and of course, leaving that visible sweaty mess behind was a huge source of anxiety for me. So, what was the game changer? I finally got smart enough to carry a dedicated towel with me, and now every time I use a machine, bench, or mat, I put down my towel first and then I do my exercise. It's such a simple fix that completely changed my confidence at the gym. Talking of leaving sweat stains, how can I forget my sweaty hands? For the longest time, I have struggled with my wet hands and, of course, the fragile grips that it comes with. It was truly a challenge to exercise when anything you touch gets wet, any weight you lift starts to slip, and for this reason, I could never lift heavy because it used to feel so dangerous that weight could slip out any moment until I finally started to look for a solution. Then I found out lifting gloves. Until now, I have used multiple types of lifting gloves, and the one that works really well for me are lightweight, breathable, and polyester based lifting gloves. They actually help you to keep your weights dry and also they maximize your grip. Now I can easily do the hanging exercises as well without the fear of grip. But it didn't stop there. There were still times when I wished to have a more dry grip in the gym, to lift more heavily, to give handshake, to show confidence. And that's the reason why I started carrying alcohol wipes or rubbing alcohol inside the gym. Just before the workout, after I change, I would casually wipe my hands with alcohol wipes or rubbing alcohol, and they would dry my hands completely for a few minutes. Perfect when I want to socialize in the gym. But here is where things got serious for me, especially during the summer months. I used to feel so drained and weak that in order to fight the fatigue, I was pounding down coffee after coffee. Deep down, I knew that coffee is probably making my sweat worse, but I had no choice. I was eating healthy, I was sleeping well, I was training hard, and still I was asking what the hell is going on? Why I am like this? Why I don't have any more energy? One day I finally had enough. I straight went to my doctor and he immediately pointed out the obvious connection. He said, since you have hyperhidrosis and you are working out intensely, you are seriously losing fluids and minerals, and water alone won't do the job. You need to add electrolytes. And I took his advice that very evening and I added electrolytes. And within few minutes, I started feeling energetic. I started feeling like I am normal back again. This was very important for me, and that's why I shared this thing. Now, here's the move that changed everything. It transformed my hyperhidrosis from extremely sweating to bone dry. How? I started combining all of these with actual methods that help control hyperhidrosis. For me, it's things like antihydral antiphoresis and regulating your body temperature. If you use these with the things I mentioned, you will get massive control over your hyperhidrosis. You can actually start enjoying exercising without being affected by hyperhidrosis. So that's how I was able to exercise even with hyperhidrosis. Now, the only thing keeping you back is action. Act now. If I can do this, so can you. I was told that I'd have to live with this forever. I refuse to accept that. If you feel the same, subscribe because this isn't just a channel. This is a mission to break the silence around hyperhidrosis and to actually start a movement that not only improves our daily lives but also fuels research for better treatments and hopefully one day a cure. That's it. See you in the next one.